Hey guys, it's Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies. About to drop my handy dandy whiteboard. Lessons I've learned, things that help me build a size of a real portfolio in about 2 years, and now manage that portfolio as well as many portfolios for many other folks. Today, y'all, I want to talk about maintenance, capital expenditures, having to fix up properties. So before I do that, if you guys have been watching this for quite some time, you enjoy these things, give us a like, share, subscribe. It really helps us out, only if you're getting value from it. Share it with somebody if you find it valuable, or give us some feedback. We always appreciate constructive criticism. So let's start off, y'all, talking about maintenance, CapEx. Capital expenditure, for those of you who don't know, CapEx, fancy way of saying expensive things that break in your house, or at least that's what we'll be talking about. But what is funny, or maybe not so funny, is the fact that I see a lot of investors who buy property but don't plan to spend or set aside any money for capital expenditures. So that would be the equivalent of buying a car and not planning on spending anything on brakes, brake pads, tires, changing the oil, anything of that nature. All those things that we're kind of like, yep, that comes with a car. We have to do maintenance. We have to keep up with it. Things wear out over time. That is very easy concept for most of us to grasp with automobiles, but it's very difficult or even non-existent, or something somebody doesn't even want to talk about with rental property. So that is what y'all as investors, and something I've seen quite a bit, need to get a hold of. You need to understand capital expenditures. Now, if you want to go to the nth degree and get super specific, you can. I use generalities, and the average number that you can use, the rough number, is about $200 a month. Now, if you guys go on our website up here, or wherever we put the link, I give away my rental property profit calculator. That's the exact one I use to buy my entire portfolio. Every single house went through that calculator. So you can do that. It's $200 is what I use. Now, I'm going to show you how you can break that down yourself and how I got that $200 a month number. And how I do that is handy dandy whiteboard in front of the big ass calendar. Okay, y'all. So CapEx, capital expenditure, these are big things. I just put a couple examples on here for y'all to get that. So here's the item. Capital expenditure would be paint, appliances, flooring, water heater, HVAC system, plumbing, windows, you name it. Something that is expensive that breaks in your house, foundation, you can list that out here. You can just go line by line. And you guys can do this. I do this on a spreadsheet. It's super easy. But again, I have found that just using the rough number of $200 is sufficient. But if you want to break your stuff down and get in the nitty gritty on maybe you did a bunch of improvements and what your capital expenditure money that you should set aside every month should be, this is what you can do to break that down. Or even if you have an old house, this is what you can do. So let's just say you just painted, you just did appliances, you added new floors and water heater. The cost, paint was $3,500 to paint, appliances was about $2,000, flooring was about $5,000, water heater was about $1,000 to install. The third column is lifespan or life expectancy of these. So paint, about 5 years. Appliances, about 10 years. Flooring, if you buy good flooring, you'll get 30 years out of it. Water heater, about 15 years. So then the final column, and this is the most important column, y'all, and this is something that's so easy to do, and you can set this up in a calculation on Excel in no time at all, is basically the dollars that breaks down to on a monthly basis. So $3,500, well, it'd be $3,500 divided by 60 months, which would be 5 years, breaks down to $58 a month. $2,000 divided by 10 years would be what? 120 months? You get $16.70. Flooring, 30 years, almost $14 a month. Water heater, 15 years, $5.56 a month. So this, if you had to paint your house, which costs $3,500 every 5 years, you would need to start setting aside $58 a month. That's how to look at this. And that's why this is how people get into a jam. We don't really think too much about it when we have to buy new tires. You know, hey, it's $500, $700. It stings. It's not easy, but you can cover it, you know. This stuff, paint, appliances, flooring, water heater is probably the cheapest one, but HVAC system, plumbing, I mean, you go on and on. Foundation's a big one. Roof, those would go on here. These are big things that you need to start budgeting for ahead of time. I see a lot of investors, there are a lot of folks that end up having to sell to wholesalers because they could not grasp this concept. So once you go through and you say, okay, here's all my major mechanicals, here are all the major things that I need or that I have either improved, I've already purchased, and so I know the average life expectancy. And again, this isn't an exact science. We don't know how long the appliances are gonna last, but we know on average, there it is. We don't know how long the flooring is gonna last, but on average, there it is. So you go through and say, okay, here's all these items. Maybe your appliances, you didn't replace them, but maybe it will be $2,500. And you know that you've got, when you go replace them, it's gonna be $2,000, but you only have 5 years left about on these appliances. They've been in there 5 years, so you're guessing you have about 5 years left. Well, this number would go up because you need to save a little bit more money each month to be able to come up with the $2,500 expense in 5 years or $2,000 expense in 5 years. Same thing with the flooring. You can go through each of these. Okay, hey, the windows look old, the foundation's not great. Maybe I'm gonna get another 5 years out of those. So you do that. Windows, 5,000, 7,000, whatever. Roof, 5,000, 7,000, whatever. How many more years of useful life do you think you have left? And just guess, it's not gonna be exact. I had an HVAC system, literally no joke, that was from 1997. That was a fantastic system that I just had to replace this year. If I would still be saving that little bit of money every month, I would have come out ahead. It's okay, but this is how you kind of protect yourself from having a huge expense and not being ready for it. Or having a turnover where we've got to replace the appliances, we've got to redo the flooring, we've got to paint. It's like, oh no, now I've got $15,000 I can't come up with. If you do it this way, if you set this stuff aside initially, you will not get in a jam. The likelihood of you getting in a jam is way low. You could, but the likelihood is low. To summarize all that, y'all, don't buy property if you can't or don't expect to fix it. You will eventually have to sell to a wholesaler. You will push away good tenants. It's not a fun situation to be in, and I've seen several good folks get run into the ground. It's like a vicious spiral. You lose tenants, you lose your income, or you got to drop the rent, so now your income's gone. They break something and it just keeps going down and down and down. So don't do that. If you want to get super granular and know exactly how much money you should be saving every month, you can do this. You can break this calculation down to all your major stuff. If you want a rough number that I have proven in my portfolio, at least, that gives me a pretty damn good idea. I mean, I'm very close to that number every year. Sometimes I'm a little more, sometimes I'm a little less, but that number is $200 a month. That, my friends, is the magic number that you could put in to any of your calculators. And I do not think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you've got a 100-year-old house and everything's wrong, probably wouldn't work for you then. But if you use $200 a month, you will come out, or I have come out, ahead almost every time. So I hope that was helpful, y'all. Don't buy rental properties if you don't expect to fix it. And hopefully this makes you a better investor, looking at properties in a better light and understanding your cash flow needs or what kind of cash flow that property is going to deliver to you. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks.